Today on BRStv, we're going to continue our propagation series with a quick product spotlight on the Tunze Coral Gum. Hi, I'm Ryan, host of BRStv, where each week we hit on a new topic related to reefing. This week we have the Tunze Coral Gum, which comes in two types, the Instant and the Standard. The Standard Coral Gum is pretty much your standard two-part epoxy used for fragging corals. It's somewhat different than the slightly cheaper brands in that it doesn't stink as bad and it seems to hold up and mix better. However, it's the Instant Coral Gum that I really want to talk about. This stuff is different than any other type of two-part you've probably used. You'll notice immediately that it's much softer and a more flexible material. It's actually based off the same type of material used for dental molds. It takes about 20 seconds to mix, after which you have about 30 seconds to form it or apply it to your desired surface before it starts to harden. Then maybe only 5 to 10 seconds before it's pretty darn hard. The reaction is super fast, and I think there are a lot of things where this could be very useful. For instance, if I'm trying to attach a large coral to the rock surface with standard epoxy, I often have to hold it in place seemingly forever. And if I wiggle too much during the curing process, it won't even hold the coral and I need to start over. With the Instant Coral Gum, I literally only have to hold it in place for 30 seconds and it's done. The cured gum also has a slight rubbery property to it, so there's a small amount of give which seems to grip the coral base better. Another nice thing is you can mix it and cure the Coral Gum Instant with wet fingers without it turning into a complete mess. In fact, you can even mix it underwater and it'll still cure. This is a pretty big deal because this is an aquarium after all, and most of the time I'm doing any real fragging or aquascaping, I have wet hands and the standard coral epoxy seems to fall apart. Take a look at this demo where I mixed the Tunze Gum Instant completely underwater. The water is still crystal clear. And this is what happens if all I do is rinse my fingertips after mixing the other brand's two-part epoxy. Check out what happens when I try to mix it underwater. This is a slimy disaster. So this leads to one of the other nice advantages. The Instant Gum doesn't make the skimmer go nuts when you add the frags to the tank like standard epoxy does, which is also pretty desirable. The Coral Gum does cost quite a bit more than standard epoxy, but at the end of the day, if you want something that sets quick, doesn't make your skimmer go nuts, and actually does the job that you're asking it to do, then this is a home run. So check out the commentary below and tell us what your favorite coral adhesive is. If this is your first time with us, subscribe because we do this every week. See you next week with another episode of BRStv.